For today's experiment, we will be making what I call Gloop. Now this experiment is courtesy hubpages.com by user Sadie423. Thank you very much for the recipe. We will be using borax, measured out in 2 tablespoons, 1 cup of glue. We have water, which we will be pouring into these 2 cups that are pre-measured out. We have gloves, which is very important. We have 2 popsicle sticks. One is blank, which you will stir with. The other one has 2 lines on there. One is purple to measure out in the purple cup. One is blue to measure out in the blue cup. When you pour the water in, just come straight to the line. You'll be good. And we have a bowl. So, let's get to work on our experiment. To start, who can predict what will happen when we mix borax, glue, and warm water? For our next question, how will the glue change when it is mixed with warm water? And also, what would happen if we just added cold water? Now that we have answered those questions, let's begin the experiment. Okay, to start, first we have our safety precautions. Make sure you're always wearing your gloves. It's good to have an apron or a t-shirt. If you don't, that's okay. Just be very careful. Now normally we would have newspaper down here to keep the gloop from getting all over the table, but for this video purposes, I'm just going to clean it up afterward, okay? Now, this water, it's supposed to be warm. If it is hot, make sure an adult always handles it, okay? Don't burn yourself. Now, let's get to work. First, we are going to grab our blue cup, the one that it says 1.5 cups water and borax. We are going to take our measuring spoon, locate the blue line, and put it inside the cup. Now this is where, if the water's too hot, make sure an adult is pouring for you. However, you are going to pour in the borax, which I have actually done already. You are going to pour up to the blue line. Alright. Now who can tell me what kind of observations you see right now that you're pouring in the warm water with the borax? Alright, now that we've answered those questions, we're going to stir this. Make sure you hold the cup while you stir. Oops, I'm being bad. I'm using my measuring stick. Let's get our stirring stick and stir it. Stir it maybe for, count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Next, we are going to set this aside safely. Grab our purple cup. We are going to take our measuring sticks, pour up to the purple line. Okay. If you spill water on the table, that's okay. We'll get some paper towels, clean it up. Alright. Next, we are going to remove this. We actually don't need our measuring stick right now. Set it aside. We are going to pour the 2 bottles of glue into this bowl. Move this out of the way. I already removed the caps. You can keep the caps on, make it nice and easy, or you can take it off, probably easier, just take them off. And squirt it into the bowl. Alright. Try to get as much glue as you can out of the bottle, because we're going to need all of it. Each bottle is 4 ounces, which is half of a cup. Okay? So what is 4 ounces plus 4 ounces? 8 ounces, that's a cup. Alright. I'm going to pause until I get the other bottle out, and then we will resume. Alright, let's continue. Now, just to show you, I have replaced the caps onto the empty bottles. That way we have no extra spills in case there's some left in there. And we're going to set these aside. Now we were going to take our purple cup of water and our stirring stick, and we are going to stir it together. Now who can tell me what is happening right now? Raise your hand and tell me what you see. What does this remind you of? Okay, give a minute to answer. Okay, now that we have mixed it up a lot, I can see it took a few minutes to mix it up, we have noticed that it's turning into like a milk, almost. Very liquidy. These are my own observations. You may have had your own. We still see some glue in there. But for the most part, it looks like skim milk, you know, the milk that's watered down. You know? Kind of cool. Alright, next we are going to grab... Ooh. Okay, sometimes when you're doing an experiment at home, you don't keep into consideration the size of the objects you're using. So this is almost full, and we still got another half a cup of water to fill in it. So I'm going to upgrade to a bigger bowl. So by the time you do this experiment in class, I'll have a bigger bowl for you. So we are going to carefully pour this in there. Alright. Ooh. A goopy sound. Ha. Alright. I'm going to throw this away. And I'm going to keep using the same stirring stick to stir it up just a little more. And then, finally, this is sometimes a two-person job. Okay? If one person wants to stir and the other person pour the borax in the cup of water, you are going to carefully mix this together. Ooh, what do you notice now that we're mixing this together? Very slowly. I'm gonna keep stirring. Keep stirring. If you want to make an observation, feel free to raise your hand. I'll call it out, it's college. What do you see? Go ahead and tap the bottom, get all the borax out. We're going to set our cup aside. Keep stirring. Ooh, this is getting hard to stir. It's hard to see the camera. I'm going to take it and pour it over the bowl. Pour it. Okay. What we are looking at right now is Gloop. Oh, wow. Now, what should Miss Beatty have done? She should have put food coloring in this. Make it a lot nicer. Alright, I'm going to put the camera back down. I'm sure you can see it in your own bowls right now. Alright, I'm going to keep stirring. We'll say 23 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, look at this. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23. All right, we're done. I'm going to set this aside, and my husband, who's right behind me, is going to come in and play with it. Well, actually, he's going to make observations first. Okay, Mr. Beatty, my husband, Justin, come here into the camera. It's filming.
All right.
All right, so what I'm going to ask you, since you were not here, what does this look like to you?
Coconut milk butter cheese.
Coconut milk butter cheese. All right, he definitely wasn't here. So, what we have here, husband, is borax, glue, and warm water, all mixed together, and we made Gloop. So, now that we've made this Gloop, who can tell me what might happen if we heat it? Husband, what is your opinion?
Heat it?
If we heat this up, what do you think would happen?
There.
Well, he's thinking, why don't you rate? Oh.
I would think it would liquefy.
It would liquefy. That's a good word. All right, who can raise their hand and tell me what else could happen? Come here.
Okay. What am I doing?
Hold your hand under it.
I'm holding my hand
All right.
under it.
Now that we've answered that question, or pause me if we haven't, I'm going to drop some in his hand. Let's watch this. What does that feel like?
Rubber.
Feels like rubber. Who else thought it felt like rubber? Raise your hand. All right. Now we have this huge, massive thing of what? This was water, guys. Water and glue and borax. So, okay, water is, of course, a liquid. You can take that out of your hand unless you want to play with it. Water is a liquid. Excuse me. Borax is a solid. Borax is a powdery solid. And we have glue, which is kind of like a viscous, which is a good word again. It means run slowly. A viscous substance. Mix it all together and we get a coconut pudding something. What?
Pudding cheese looking
Cheese thing.
Cottage cheese. It looks like cottage cheese.
Yes. Okay. So now I'll ask you guys, and then I'll let him answer. Pause me. What would happen if we froze this? What happens if we put this in the freezer? Husband?
It becomes a solid.
Now, who can tell me how it becomes a solid?